Ah, the Scout. Runius Fastius. Also known as the class that introduced the infamous stun mechanic, a status effect that players still curse upon to this day. But what if I was to tell you it was once much, much worse? And side note, some of you weren't too keen on the JoJo intro I did last time, so I'm going to keep a standard intro for this episode. Run the intro. Just kidding, fuck you. Hello, my Boston buddies! It's Ihasnotomato here, the TF2 YouTuber you've never heard of. And yes, indeed, it is that time of the century again where I continue my series on the TF2 update history. And today we are covering the titular Scout update, which gracefully arrived on our metaphorical TF2 doorstep on February 24th, 2009. Of which, I might add, is also the first update I ever experienced myself. So I can tell you my own personal first-hand experiences with the updates from now on and go into horrifying detail. But anyway, before we jump into this bim bam jam of an update, I must mention that much like the preceding heavy update, this update was drip fed to us day by day over the course of a week. So this video will be segmented day by day. Starting with... wow. Oh, the Sandman, huh? Well, that's kind of the whole thing I wanted to lead up to. Yes, indeed. The first day of the update gave us the good old Sandman. All reliable. The 1-2 punch. The push slam bam. The Sandman. The stun man. The stun guy. Alright, now. If you couldn't tell from my not so subtle openings to this vid, the Sandman is vastly different to how it once was. Like hot diggity Damien, this thing was a whole other beast at first. First, I'll hit you with the softball. Stats wise, it did a whopping 50% less damage to non-stun targets, which, while extreme, is nothing yet. Like seriously, hold on to your butts here. This slide's getting more bumpy, as the other downside would completely remove your double jump entirely. Gone. Hip skipping away. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, that's not all that bad. Surprising? Sure, maybe. But I tell you, it's nothing compared to what I'm about to tell you. Now, fair warning, people of the faint of heart, look away now. So as I'm sure you all know, the Sandman's bread and butter is stunning players by batting a ball into their head, yeah? Well, you know how these days when you stun somebody, they get slowed for a duration depending on how far away they were from you? And you know how before, if you hit them from far enough away, they would be stunned entirely? But then it was removed because being fully stunned is incredibly stupid for a first-person shooter? What if I told you that instead of slowing a player down, it would stun players at any distance? And it could also stun ubercharged players. Yeah, well, that's what it was like. Not the very nice thought, is it? And it was like that for a while too, and slowly got nerfed and changed over the years until it's the bat you see today. I tell ya, it was a dark time. Kinda. I'll admit, me being new to the game and the competitive scene I guess not really existing back then, it wasn't super annoying, but it was still a huge nuisance. But hey, here's a quick fun fact for you. Not only can you pick up your own ball, but you can also pick up other players' ball as well, allowing you to be even more of an asshole than before. Wow. Day 2 rolls around and we are treated to 2 new maps, Arena Watchtower by Joshua C, Shiftlet, and CP Junction by Sean Heyo Catino, respectively. And I gotta say, I really don't feel like I see these maps that often nowadays. I mean sure, as I mentioned in the heavy update video, nobody really plays much Arena nowadays, but it's still a fine map and a damn pretty looking one too. And also, while recording this video, I discovered that even if you wanted to play Arena, you couldn't unless you went to a community server. Yeah, I can't find it anywhere in the official server list. And as for Junction, it's For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of maps with such limited verticality, but hey, I still find myself on it from time to time. Running rings around those molasses slow dummies out there on the battlefield is firsty frickin' work, but when it comes to quenching that thirst, only one thermonuclear first detonator packs all the atomic punch you'll ever need. BONK is full of radiation, which as we all know is pretty great for giving people superpowers. Just one can will blast you into a few second rush of radioactive energy so powerful you'll be dodging bullets like they ain't even there. Yes indeed, my hyper heroes, today we are introduced to BONK, which functions pretty similarly to how it does today. Only a few differences are really notable, such as the duration was initially 6 seconds while now it is 8 seconds, and it used to slow you down to the speed of a heavy after use, while now the speed reduction is based on how much damage you quote-unquote dodge. Also, fun fact about this picture, the map you are seeing in the background is actually an early version of the payload race map, Pipeline, of which would not be released until the next update. Trust me guys, I would have used Walk Like an Egyptian here if I could have. But nonetheless, Day 4 introduced us to CP Egypt, once again created by Sean Heyo Gutino, who made Junction for Day 2. And additionally, an update was shipped for Fastlane as well, changing things like the capture rate time to even the layout of the map a little. But yeah, I gotta say, I really like Egypt, and I can say with certainty I spent a lot of time here back in the day. I mean, this map is synonymous with the Scout update for me nowadays. And I won't lie, it's been a while since I've been back here, but damn, I still love it. Especially that little Easter egg at the end of the room filled with gold that not too many people seem to realize is there, much like the room in Lazarus. Well, hot dog, it's Day 5! And yes folks, here it is, the Face-a-Naturer, also known as the Force of Nature aptly. Named after the quote that the Scout says in Meet the Scout, of which they seem to like so much they even made it into a freaking shirt, of which they're advertising on the same page, although I'm not 100% sure if you can even buy it anymore. I really love this magazine ad style they made to present this page, especially these quotes. It packs a wallop! Any outdoorsman will tell you the most frustrating part of hunting is when a deer simply falls down when shot and doesn't fly backwards into the forest. Those days are over. Anything this baby hits better pack a lunch because it's going for a ride. Beautiful. But I'll tell you a pretty interesting thing about the Knocko Nature, is that it's hardly been changed at all. Well, okay, other than numerous tweaks to the knockback aspect itself regarding range, angle, and one baffling change that lasted only 2 days where disguised spies couldn't be affected by the knockback, which is, was a thing, I guess. Well, the last thing on this page I should quickly mention is a little poll at the bottom that would allow players to decide the unlock order of the weapons. As I previously mentioned in the other videos in this series, back then the only way to obtain these items were through the achievement milestones, of which the players were voting on which ones they wanted to unlock in what order, and it resulted in the Force of Nature, followed by the Sandman, followed by the BONK, and this was decided on release day, February 24th. And you know, I gotta say, I don't have a very vivid memory of this update. Sorry, I owned the game for less than a month at this point, but I do remember spending a lot of time playing Scout, trying to get those dastardly achievements and seeing people experiment and exploit their weapons to their heart's content. It was a wild time, I tell ya. Wow. But you know what the weirdest part about this update is? None of it really stuck with me. That is to say that I don't really spend any time in these maps anymore, nor do I use any of the weapons. And haven't for a fair few years. I mean, sure, back in the day I used them all the time, but nowadays I don't even consider them. I mean, I guess playstyles change and refine, and just none of them really suit me. I don't know, I find it interesting. Do any of you guys use the weapons still? And if so, what are your thoughts on them now compared to back then? Well, anyway, sorry this took so long, but you know, various reasons regarding life, work, and the universe and all that. I'll try to make the next one come sooner, but no promises. Although I do have some neat ideas for the next few episodes, so who knows? And speaking of the next update, we will be covering the Sniper update. And look, before you go correcting me in the comments saying, actually it's the Sniper versus Spy update, I know, I'm just doing a thing here, alright? It's gonna be real cool. It'll make sense in the next video, alright? Just shh. You'll see. Eventually. One day. Whenever it's done. 100 years from now. Anyway, I have been Ihasnotomato. I personally think you will have very gorgeous eyes. And I will see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, do you like other Team Fortress 2 YouTubers that aren't me? Of course you do. Then perhaps you might enjoy following me on Twitter, Tumblr, or even on my Discord, as I've been drawing and posting various pieces of fan art of other Team Fortress 2 YouTubers that I have made myself.
Or maybe you might be interested in checking out the behind the scenes for the intro animation I did over on my drawing channel.
And hey, if you really like what you saw, perhaps you might be interested in supporting me on Patreon. And here are this month's patrons. Anyway guys, remember to tell your pets how much you love them.